Hi, it's Alex from Ruinous Aggression. Today is a book review of one of my favourite books, something that we've implemented heavily into our organisation here at Ruinous Aggression and has made phenomenal changes with every person we've brought in. It is the book called Radical Candor by Kim Scott. Radical Candor is something that we have indoctrinated into our business, and we teach every single person the concept. It's all around how you give feedback. Most people focus on how you give constructive feedback, but Kim beautifully focuses on how you do that and do that well, but also how you praise and give positive feedback, which is another area which is missed heavily. Before we jump in, if you like these book reviews, please do hit subscribe and the bell notification so the next book review gets landed straight into your YouTube account. For me, Radical Candor is one of the most important elements of anyone within a business, but certainly that of any manager from any level in any organisation. If you cannot give feedback effectively, your team will argue, fight and bicker between themselves and potentially even with you. You cannot develop your people to the level that hits their full potential because you can't tell them exactly what they're doing wrong and you can't tell them exactly what they're doing right. So to jump into the model, let's take a look at the model of feedback that we all fall in the trap of, even with our personal relationships, but certainly our work relationships. Let's kick off with number one, which is Ruinous Empathy. Ruinous Empathy is when you are nice to the other person, or what you believe is nice, is that you're not telling them that they have an issue and you're just skirting along and not giving them any feedback whatsoever. Number two is Manipulative Insincerity. That's when you tell them the opposite of what is actually true. No, John, you're a really hard-working person. No, John, you don't have that. That certainly isn't you, that is them. You full well know that they have a problem there, but yet you're not communicating it to them. You're communicating the opposite of it. Number three is Obnoxious Aggression. This is better than doing the previous two. At least the person gets to hear it. The problem is, I can guarantee it will end up in an argument or a fight, unless, as we talk about Radical Candor. But Obnoxious Aggression is just telling the person, John, you're not good enough at your job. John, this and this is wrong. John, that. A lot of it ends up in spurious positions like, you are crap at your job. You are not very good at management. It doesn't break down into the actual level of detail needed in Radical Candor. It still can, but it's still done of a place that doesn't demonstrate care. Now that brings us into Radical Candor. There's multiple facets you need for Radical Candor, but one of them is to show the other person that you care. Is that you're in rapport with that individual and therefore you can give them feedback without them turning into an argument. It still can, but it has a less likely chance of doing so, and the person is more likely to be receptive to that feedback. Imagine if someone in the street wandered up to you and told you that you were X, Y, and Z. But if that came from a very close family member, you're probably more likely to listen to the family member than the random person on the street. Well, this is what the building of this concept is built on. So when we look to give feedback, we demonstrate to the other person that we care about them, and that we demonstrate to that person that we retain rapport with that person, and we're able to then deliver that feedback with the individual, giving them detail around what the problem is. There's no good giving them rapport and then giving them feedback that they're not very good at management. We have to tell them the elements of leadership or management or their role or whatever they're doing in detail to make sure that they know what behaviours and expectations you're looking for them to either change or to start doing. So Radical Candor needs to be used in two ways, as suggested by Kim Scott in the book. The first way is constructive feedback. Not letting that thing just sit and fester, having that conversation immediately or as early as you possibly can to eat that frog and cover off the problem. The second way is positive feedback. It's actually giving people a level of detail. Now, most people like to hear positive feedback about themselves, but giving people feedback like work harder, you've worked really hard, or you've done X, Y, and Z, you need to be, John, I really liked it when you had that conversation with Sally about X, Y, and Z. You delivered it calmly, he delivered X, Y, and Z, he delivered this, this, and this, and giving the detail. Your work here is excellent, is not good enough. Your work on focusing around our brand values, putting that into the document, building out exactly what we're looking for from a formula perspective and following the instructions incredibly well. We really appreciate that, and you've come up with a better document than I'd expected because of these 3 reasons. Now, when we give specific reasons, people really feel valued in their work. One of the things we shouldn't do is just reward people on results. We reward people on the actions they took in order to generate those results. The last part of the book we'll cover today is Kim Scott's positioning around rock stars and superstars. This was actually a new concept to me because I thought everybody wanted to fly out through an organization. But it turns out, as Kim Scott describes, that isn't the case. What we tend to do is we tend to reward people with promotions. We tend to tell them, you're getting promoted, you've got a new role. Now, Kim describes 2 types of individuals. One who is a rock star. Now, rock stars are exactly that. They are rocks. They're usually on a slower career trajectory, but they're exceptionally good at their role. They're very, very good at their role. Now, people's outside of work life can prevent them wanting to progress and fly up through the ranks, take a responsibility. They may have just had children, they may have family members that they need to care for, or maybe they just don't want a leadership role or a new position within the business that requires more of their time and more of their focus. They want to be coming in every day and day out and at the top of their possible game. The second is the superstars. Now, these people are the people that want to fly through the business, that want additional responsibility and want that career trajectory. Now, the difference is people can change. It might be that you promote somebody and they go, I'm now a rock star, I want to pause because all of this stuff's happening for me, or I'm not as good at my job as I used to be as a rock star, I want to get back to rock star level, and then I may consider it. So making sure that you're having the conversations with your team and understanding whether they want to be a rock star or whether they want to be a superstar. So that's my review of Kim Scott's Radical Candor, an impressive book and one that we've implemented into our business and is actually one of our values within the organization. If you're looking to hire executives either into a private equity firm or portfolio company across Europe and North America, please do reach out to us at Raw Selection. We specialize in the private equity industry, portfolio and private equity appointments directly. Thank you very much for watching.